Welcome back to OpenLine. Talking with Councilman Jeremy Elrod. We were talking about the one-touch ordinance, Google Fiber ordinance. Now talking about being chair of Public Works and a new council member. So what are the things that constituents contact you the most about? What do you hear most from those in your district?
Well, I'm fortunate that in my district there's not the developments going on in Green Hills and East Nashville and 12 South and that kind of thing. So for a lot of council members, it's zoning issues. But for me, it's codes issues of somebody's not having a neighborhood's not getting their lawn cut, or just regular constituent issues of they paved my street and my new aggregate driveway got damaged, and getting that cleaned up. Hey, there's a stormwater project that's going in that's going to hurt my business. I need, what is Metro Water doing here? And that's something that I never call back or email back folks fast enough that I would like to, but it's something that I enjoy doing, because that's something, if you're you may want a new sidewalk or a new road paved or a new transit system, but if Metro comes and messes up your driveway, that is the most important thing to you that day. And for your house, for your home, that's your biggest investment. So just helping that is helping individual folks with whatever kind of issue, and that's probably just calls like that is just staying up on that type of thing.
And those things don't make the news. No. So these are critically important to individuals. And then you have these other things that have been circled. The council's been busy. Y'all have been doing a lot of stuff. The marijuana, I don't want to call it decriminalization of marijuana, but the lowering of the penalty associated with having a small amount of marijuana, certainly Google Fiber One Touch. So there are those big issues, and then there are these other things that take up a lot of your time.
It's a tough balance of figuring out what to do on one-touch affordable housing, transit, public works, short-term rentals, a lot of these bigger issues that are
Airbnb. That's right.
That are Airbnb issues that are county citywide, but also making sure that trash is getting picked up. That if there's a rezoning going on in your district, that's going on in the proper way of involving the community, involving the neighborhood. If Public Works isn't mowing something that it should be, that kind of thing, so those issues that don't get in the paper, but is really probably the most important thing for a councilman to do is to make sure that your constituents are being heard by Metro government, that they're getting either phone calls returned, emails returned, that basically they're getting out of their local government, getting out of Metro government what they need. Just it may be something small to somebody that's sitting at a building downtown, but for somebody in my neighborhood, it's the most important thing. And it's the way that particularly if you're retired, that's really one of the few ways you're touching Metro government is getting something fixed on your street. So that's where that's why I'm glad we have. There's good and bad about having a large Metro Council, but it helps us to where we can pay attention a lot more to those constituent issues to make sure those get fixed.
Well, and that was a debate prior to your last election here. How large should our council be? Is it too large? And it was decided to stay where we are. But what do you think about that? Now you're on the council, so you're getting the opportunity to talk with constituents, but you're also dealing with a large legislative body. What do you think about the size of our council right now?
I think it's, at least for myself, I'm glad that I have a smaller area and a fewer people that I represent. That way I'm better able to represent each of them individually, and able to go to meetings. I can't go to every meeting, and not every councilman can go to every meeting, but to try to go to as many meetings as possible. But it helps. You're more likely to do that than if you represent more folks in a wider area. You're stretched a lot thinner. So I think it's a good thing that we have such a large council, particularly because we're metropolitan. We're combined city and county. We're a very large government that is in charge of a large area. so we need probably a bigger council to do that. So you have district council members like us that are able to pay attention to our district local issues. Then you have the fire at large that are able to have I guess look wider scope, and they're able to do that because they don't have as many of the constituent issues that we get calls on about trash getting picked up or or some kind of individual issue that our constituent have with Metro. They're able to look at larger issues and sometimes spend more time on those than we are.
Let's go to Dorothy. Hello, Dorothy.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, yes, go right ahead.
Don't you think Google is impinging on the rights of AT&T?
Do you think Google is impinging on the rights of AT&T? That's the question from Dorothy. Is Google impinging on the rights of AT&T? AT&T would say, I think they would say yes. But what do you say to that?
No, I would say absolutely. AT&T would say yes. That's why they filed the lawsuit. They think Metro is impinging on their rights, and it's not Google that's doing it. It was a Metro ordinance that was passed, and Google is going to be using it to extend their fiber system. But I would say no, because AT&T has their poles in the right-of-way, and they are attached to other utility poles, primarily NES poles, in the Metro right-of-way, that they have to, that they're governed by how Metro, whatever rules or regs that Metro puts forth on their right-of-way. And, if something happens to an AT&T line, whoever uses that one touch, let's say Google, of course, Google would have to pay basically restitution to AT&T or Comcast if there's any damage or anything put in. They have to give them notice of whenever they move their lines. So there are checks and balances that are put into place to try to, I guess, mitigate as much of that damage as possible. But, AT&T lines, they are in the right-of-way. If they want to abandon all their lines and go to a completely wireless system, do all of their telecom offerings through wireless cellular service, they're more than welcome to. But right now they're in the Metro right-of-way. So Metro, I believe, and why we passed the ordinances, we believe that Metro has the authority to say what happens in our right-of-way, how, and the process of moving, pole attachments and wires and things that are on utility poles.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, come back, and basically wrap everything up. But I want to ask, there have been some big things that have happened in the time you've been on council. What are some of the things on the horizon? So take a break, be back right after this.